So in the module where we talked about idea validation, I went into detail about how you set up a product launch page, how you go about validating your idea by channeling traffic through Facebook or through Google or through whatever means to your landing page, and having a brief explainer about what your app is about or what your product is about, and having the all important email collection box so that you can have a list of emails on the day of launch who you can contact and tell them, hey, do you remember when you said that you wanted to download this app? Well, now it's finally available. Go ahead and download it here. That's going to be so much more powerful than just spamming people on forums or, putting out ads at that time. So one thing that you might notice here is this line where it says become founding member number 80,512. Now, the backstory is that the founder who created Great Little Place, and I know I've been using this example a lot because it's actually a really interesting case study, but the guy who founded Great Little Place put in this line for essentially social proof. So the idea is that you land on this page, you see that wow, 80,000 people already signed up and put down their email. This has to be something worthy. This has to be something that's going to be really great, because otherwise, why do all these people want to sign up? And we as humans have a great deal of herd mentality. We like to do what other people do. No matter how much we think that we are special snowflakes, we're really not. We have a bunch of heuristic rules in our brains that determine how we act and how we make decisions. And this is one of those cognitive biases where when we see a large group of people doing something, we're more likely to do that thing. But the relatively unknown backstory is that the founder of this app actually went onto this website and manually updated that number every day to a new random sounding number that's greater than the one that was there yesterday. So, ethics of this, I don't know. But it worked really, really well. And he had tens of thousands of emails on the day of launch who he could email and get that massive download spike within the first 24 hours of launch on the App Store, which eventually led to him being featured on the App Store, which got more traction and sustained him within the top free apps category for quite a while. So it's really, really worth doing. And the common advice that we give to people is that if you're going to build a product, you should have had a landing page yesterday. If you can't do yesterday, then today is second best. So build one now and start collecting emails. Now, some of the things I've mentioned and I'm going to mention in this course is a lot about psychology. And psychology plays a huge role in marketing, which is why I find it actually really fascinating. Because, we all think that we're so unique, that we make decisions based on our personality, etc. But actually, the rules that govern human behavior are very simple. And there's a lot of great cognitive psychologists who have gone in to explore some of these things. And also, a lot of marketers exploit these cognitive biases in order to sell you things. So one of the best places to see this is in a supermarket. So why is it that when you go into the supermarket, any supermarket, the first section that you're confronted with after you enter the door is the fresh fruit section? Why is that? Why is it that the brands that make the supermarket the most money are usually stacked at eye level? Why is it that a lot of supermarkets have a bakery, even if they don't bake a lot of the goods on site? It's just to put out the scent of freshly baked bread so that you start secreting hormones and you start feeling hungry. And we all know what happens when we're hungry in a supermarket. We just end up buying, well, at least I end up buying everything. So it's really fascinating to me. And to really be able to market effectively, you do need to know about this. And also, even if just to know how you are being manipulated by the powers that be. So have a read of some of these great terms on psychology in marketing. This is a really good book by Robert Cialdini, and it's on influence, and a lot of great marketers have recommended it, and I certainly would. And it's just a really simple, distilled book on how marketers use various cognitive biases to influence you in various ways. And once you get into this kind of stuff, you start noticing it everywhere. And yeah, so this is something I would really recommend. The other book, if you're interested in cognitive biases or heuristics, is a book by Daniel Kahneman, which is called Thinking Fast and Slow. So Kahneman and Tversky were two really, really influential psychologists, and I remember studying them a great deal when I was doing my degree in neuroscience. So this is a really good book on thinking about decision making and how we use heuristics every day. So the idea that, we can't be bothered to think through every single decision. And instead, as humans, we've come up with various ways of simplifying decisions by following certain rules. And one of those rules is herd mentality. So doing what the majority of your tribe does will usually keep us safe, as a Neanderthal. Whether if it'll keep us safe nowadays, I don't know. But the other thing that is relevant to what we're talking about in this module is the idea of consistency. So when people put down that email, it's them declaring, I want access to this app. And as humans, we have a consistency bias. We like to be consistent with what we say and what we do. And this is why sometimes you can get into arguments with people that are impossible to win. So people might have declared in the past that they're pro-life or they're pro-choice, whatever it is. And it's very difficult to change their view on something because their identity is so closely linked to that decision they made previously. Now, coming back to something like this, it's a very similar psychological construct. When you email your list on the day of launch, you're saying, hey, do you remember when you said that you really wanted to download this app? Well, now it's available and you can actually download it. And just by the force of being consistent with their past selves, you will see a higher conversion rate than if you just cold emailed them. So in summary, build a landing page as soon as you can, even if you just have an inkling of an idea for your product. Drive traffic towards that landing page, whether if it's through posting in Facebook groups or posting in Slack channels or creating Google ads or Facebook ads, driving traffic towards it and start building that list. The second thing is think about some of these cognitive biases that a lot of marketers use in order to influence people in their behavior. Even if you're not going to use any of them, it's important to know what is being used on you. And finally, think about how you're going to make your stats stand out during those crucial periods of your app's launch on the App Store. And the best way of going about that is using email marketing.